Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another day here at Reach and Reverie. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alex and welcome. And if you guys have been around and seen me before, welcome back. I wanted to make this video as a catching up with you guys, just a conversation, letting you know what I've been up to these past couple of months. You may have seen some videos poking through sporadically on my channel, but they definitely haven't been as consistent as I'd like them to be. This season has been a busy one for sure, and I know that is true for everybody, not just ourselves, but because of that, we had to let some things drag, and I would say the low end that was dragging for me certainly was posting YouTube videos, because it has been one of those seasons where I felt like I have just been flying by the seat of my pants making sure that everything is getting done, and if there's one thing that didn't get done, unfortunately it was you guys. So I do apologize for that, but while I haven't been posting things, we certainly have still been up to things. So I wanted to bring you guys along and share some of the things that we've been up to. Oh, are you just being the bestest girl? Except you're laying on my primroses. Of all the garden spots, I guess that did look the softest, huh? Evening primroses. This is one plant, you guys. It started off just a little tiny flower tucked into this corner I started in the spring, and once the summer heat broke and the weather started to cool off, it has just exploded, and the pollinators this time of year are loving it. Even though you're squishing it, Eve. I wanted to share with you guys an update. I made a recent video, well, recent-ish, about saboteurs in the garden. I was having ants that were stealing all of my fall seeds and making it impossible to grow a fall garden from seed. And what we ended up doing, which has worked really, really, really well, is we have this contraption which is covered to keep other things like birds from getting into it. But we get these suet blocks, and I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but it's essentially a type of bird feed. And what Josh and I have realized is the ants that are harvesting our seeds, they're harvester ants. They like to harvest seeds. So traditional methods for killing ants does not work on these guys. They're not interested in any kind of organic ant bait because they just have a different diet, I think, than some other ants perhaps. But what we tried was giving them bird seed. They love the seed in my garden, so that has been working really, really, really well. What we did here though is we added a borax solution, which is organic, and we have soaked it into the bird suet. And the ants have been, and you can see they've gotten a pretty big chunk out of this, and this is our second one we've put out here. We've soaked borax solution into this bird feed, and borax, it is an organic compound that you can just mix with boiled sugar water to create a solution. And we have soaked it into this, and the ants have been eating and harvesting all of the seed and I guess tallow out of this block, taking it back down into their hole, and that has been what has saved us, given us some relief from the ants harvesting seeds in our garden this year. I do think it's knocked their numbers down dramatically, but if you live in an area with harvester ants, you know their mounds are expansive. I think they will be back in the spring, but I do think we've knocked their numbers down enough that we can kind of bring some balance back into the garden. I am all for ecosystems. I do not like killing things if there's not a purpose for it. But these guys were making it impossible to grow a fall garden. So that has been a success. You can see there is not ant activity here. There's really not any ant activity. If you come out at different times of the day, you will see a couple of ants coming out, but their numbers have been dramatically reduced. Now, these harvester ants, they live underground probably several feet, and their mound goes out several feet in every direction. So this whole area is their colony. And so I'm sure that they will go and lick their wounds, and they'll be back in the spring. As we've noticed some other mounds around the area, their numbers have dwindled. They'll start taking their dead out and leaving them, and I'll show you all a mound up at the front where they're cleaning house essentially, but they'll be back, I'm sure. I'm starting this video in the garden. You can see we do still have a fair amount of green growing on in here, but this is not a garden video, unfortunately. I love my garden videos. I love hanging out with you guys in this space. But I'm gonna take you guys out of the garden and show you some of the things that we have been up to in this busy season. So come on, let's go take a look. And this afternoon I probably will come back out here. I do need to harvest some things. So I'll try to bring my camera, and perhaps the next video you guys will take a peek at the things we're still getting out of the garden. Today, you guys, it is October 18th, and I'm still harvesting tomatoes and eggplants and okra and so much more. Like, what even is happening? As I struggle with this gate today. There we go. It is mid-October. Our typical in far western Texas, in this region, we are zone 8B. We usually get our first frost by now. I would say October 13th historically has been about the weekend when we get our first frost, and we are a week past that. And I'm looking now, and I do not see any projection of frost in our 10-day forecast. We are in the 80s all week. So we're gonna take advantage of it and keep harvesting from the garden for sure. We will eventually devote quite a bit of energy landscaping this place. We have 5 acres, and with all of the projects we've been doing plus our full-time jobs, we have admittedly been stretched a little thin. And one of our optimistic projects we started this year, which kind of was a little bit of a failure, honestly, is we were trying to grow grass. We wanted a grassy yard to take our shoes off and wiggle our toes in. And if you've ever been to Texas, specifically Trans-Pecos, western side of the state, we have a horrible vegetation called the goat head. That's right. It is not actually a goat head, but it is a thorn seed pod that is shaped like a triangular, almost like a goat head with horns. And those horns can grow so long, and it's very painful to step on. It is a actual crippler, and we have them all over the property. And I'm even sure I could probably look at my shoe right now and pick one out. So between the 3-inch long mesquite thorns and the 1/4-inch long goat head thorns, it's not a very comfortable place to walk shoeless. You cannot walk barefoot very far in this part of the state at all. So we had devoted a lot of energy into getting all the thorns out of this space and growing a healthy lawn. And as you can see, where is that lawn? We did put up some electric tape to keep deer out, from keeping them from eating our plants. We also tried growing a living fence along here where we put honeysuckle and jasmine in, and before we did the electric fence, they did come and the hogs and the deer ate our honeysuckle and jasmine. So we came back in with this electric tape, and it was working for a really long time, and at some point the deer have managed to figure out how to get through it. So we are going to have to reinforce that next year. We'll probably add another layer, potentially add some netting. So truly, at least for us, we can say there's always next year. What we've noticed is, since the perennials, the honeysuckles and the jasmine that were going to come back every year and fill up this fence as a living fence, did not make it. I added something that was very fast growing, which is morning glories. And the morning glories I added to fill this space up very quickly, add beautiful color. And even so, now that the deer have figured out how to get through this fencing, they've basically manicured as far up as they can eat. With the weather changing for the cooler now, they are also starting to dwindle. We have a lot more flowers that are about to open up here on this trellis, but I do truly love coming out in the mornings and seeing my morning glories in bloom. The morning glories were glorious a few weeks ago. And I think they're starting to slowly die back. Did you get bit by an ant? What gotcha? Those harvester ants are mean, huh? What gotcha? Are you okay? Are you walking yourself with that leash? Evie, in recent news, has lost her privilege to be an off-leash dog, even though I guess right now she's kind of off-leash walking herself, because she has taken it upon herself to start using the bathroom along our path everywhere we go. And we do have a designated area for that for her. And I think it's because we have a fox here that does his business everywhere, and she wants to mark over him. But we kind of went back into some remedial training this week with her. For this past month, with her having to go back to being a leash dog. I'm not very good at holding the leash though, so you guys see how that's working. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is this school bus behind me. This is the same bus that was up at the front of the property a few videos back that we told you guys we were going to sell. And there's been a change of plans. It turns out, secretly, Josh was planning to keep this bus for me all along as a greenhouse. That's right. We are going to turn this into a greenhouse. It has been our plan all along to get a bus as a greenhouse. We actually have a second bus that we are waiting to bring onto the property. That bus already has the engine out of it, and it's been gutted out, and so we thought that would be a good option, but Josh has secretly been planning for this to be my greenhouse, which is so cool. We did have the engine pulled out. We are selling off parts like the undercarriage, different bus car parts we're selling. We are keeping the body of this school bus so that we can make it into a greenhouse. I'll show you guys some footage here of us bringing it into its final resting place, taking the wheels out, and some of the work that was put into it along the way between the last videos and where we are now. You guys, I know I said we weren't going to do this, but we're keeping the bus. Josh and I are so excited. We originally planned to sell this bus so that we could buy the framing for our house, and it turns out that instead of selling the whole bus, we are going to go ahead and take the engine out, take the undercarriage out, tires, take those wheels off, sell the rear end of the bus, and then we'll be left with the framing that will be perfect for our greenhouse. The benefits to using a bus that is in perfect running condition is that we will still have the electrical in the bus, and I'll have lighting. It'll be easier for us to set up heaters in the wintertime instead of having to run wiring on the back end. So couldn't have planned it better. So today I am peeling off the reflective tape from the bus. We also have taken off the logo that said the ISD that this bus came from. We'll be taking off the rest of the taped on lettering from the bus as well. While I'm doing that, Josh is focusing on getting the area prepped to where we're going to set this bus down. So he's going to dig some holes, get concrete poured. When that dries, we'll back the bus back into its position so that we can set it down. Josh is going to be working on taking out the exhaust as well today. We also are going to have a friend come over sometime this week to help us lift the bus up with a crane so we can get it set into place, tires off, engine pulled out, undercarriage taken out, so that essentially the outside of this bus will be gutted and ready to go, because this is going to be my greenhouse. So excited. This whole thing is going to be painted. I'm so excited to show you guys what's going to be going on the inside, as well as there's a lot of work ahead of us. The GoPro died, my phone wasn't recording, but we have backed the bus in. This is its resting spot. It's gonna turn into a greenhouse. We had a little board as the block he's backed up into. Today he did go ahead and get the cement in where we're gonna rest the bus down onto with blocking. It's running great. Such a shame, only 60,000 miles on it. Runs great, but we're gonna take the engine out, turn it into a greenhouse. Really love where we have this bus. We'll have this completely restored, remodeled. It will not look like a bus when we're done with it, but I love how it is proximal to the garden, where we can open this gate, do gardening through this side. We will be getting rid of this temporary greenhouse and having another structure there in the garden. And we think that with us having still quite a bit of room to the property line, we'll be able to have potentially a lean-to off the back end as well, and it will be amazing. So now that this is going to be a greenhouse, we do need to still take out all of these seats, which is another shame because they are in perfect condition, but they have to go. We do think we may be able to repurpose these. We're gonna see how it works to see if we can end up making the shelving for our garden starting plants. We're gonna line this with shelves for plant starts, and I think that we may be able to use some of the material from these seats to do that, so that would be best case scenario. Hey, come over here.
I do.
Evie, over here. Leave him alone. She says he's crawling around. I want to play with him. Let's leave him alone. They're dropping it. You don't want it to crush you. Hey, can you sit for me? Holy moly.
You want to put a rock on top of this one? Yeah. That's good. Let's go check out the center. Yeah, you're doing good on the center.
Okay, so what did y'all think about that footage? Let me give you guys a little walk around tour. I'll show you some of the things that we're at this point. This has been a bucket list, wish list item forever. I thought this would be such a cool remodel to turn a school bus into a greenhouse. And as y'all saw with the spring that we had, we invested a lot of money into a temporary pop-up greenhouse. I have a video on that, and our winds out here they're just too strong. We lost a greenhouse to the wind. This other greenhouse will not hold up for more than another season. So we wanted something that would stand the test of time and also maybe be part of what I would call a she shack. Make it a space where I can hang out, have a little time to spend with my plants, maybe have a rocking chair and a bookshelf, sit in the rain, watch some plants grow, play with some soil, and have just a nice little area on the property that's kind of like a me space. So really super excited for this. I'll show you some of the things we're at this point. Just looking at the front of the bus before we even go inside, we are using this framing here that held the engine. This is going to be a table eventually. You just got to envision it, right? We're going to have a backsplash here that we're going to install to kind of cover up some of this. Eventually this steering wheel column thingy is going to come out. This is the steering wheel. That's going to come out on the inside. A lot of this stuff is going to go away. We'll probably have some kind of electrical box tucked in here because we are keeping the electric intact in this bus. I think it will be so cool to be able to have heating in here, as well as be able to turn on some fans, have some lights if I want to work in the evenings or at night. And so it's just really important to us to be able to maintain and recycle some of what's already set up with the school bus. We're not having to build in electrical systems because they're already in place. So we'll probably have some kind of cabinet here where we can access this. It's going to have a really nice wooden backsplash right here that will probably stain, and it'll be really pretty. We're going to have this table here, and one of these sides we're going to have probably something like expanded metal, some kind of mesh, so that I could tuck a tote up under here and I can be filling my cups with starters to get plants started and not really make a mess in the bus. So I could be in here and fill up my seed starting trays, and then all of the mess that I make, all of the soil that falls out of the cups will fall into the tote underneath the table that I can then recycle. This would also be a really good place to bring dirty vegetables because, as we all know, real food comes dirty. So if I've got some carrots or turnips that I just pulled out of the ground, I could set them here on my envisioned expanded metal mesh here and rinse them off before taking them into the house and not bringing that into the kitchen. The other half of this is going to be some kind of solid substrate. So I don't know if we're going to do wood or like marble or concrete or something, but we are going to have a top here that's going to be solid. So I'll have some real good table working space out here where I can enjoy the breeze, enjoy the sunshine. It is kind of protected from the weather. This is on the east side of the bus, so it's going to have the best weather. So we'll have a little outdoor place for me. I can already envision having a little stool tucked up under here, and I just think that's going to be great. Off to the north side of the bus, so y'all can feel that north wind coming in as we're in fall. We do plan on building a lean-to, some kind of structure off the back of this. This is gonna keep, whoo, it's windy. I swear you guys, I haven't filmed in a couple of weeks, and the first day I come out here, it is so windy. So let me stand over here and I'll kind of explain it. Off the north end of the bus, we do plan on coming out with a lean-to. It's probably going to be about 8 feet is what we're expecting, so that we can still have room to bring vehicles and drive around the outside of our property, as our property line is right here. And so we want to have space to still be able to travel the perimeter of the property. We like to have like a fire break line between the property line and anything we have going on. So we'll have an 8-foot lean-to coming off the back. There we can park things like our tractor, lawn equipment like lawn mowers, and have kind of almost like a 3-sided tool shed. I'll probably also have some kind of closet built out here that I can go and grab materials like seed starting trays, maybe some organic fertilizer, garden tools, that type of thing I can have in a safe, protected spot as well without cluttering the inside of my greenhouse, because this greenhouse, I think I'm gonna use every square inch of that space. As y'all can see my garden behind me and the garden tours y'all have seen this year, that's half of the garden that we have put in. We do have a whole nother half we need to fill, and so overall we're gonna have over 1,000 square feet of growing space for the garden to grow. And I think coming in here in this school bus, we are going to want to have enough room to start all of our seeds for the spring, as well as grow enough that we can sell some extra started plants to the community as well. So I'm anticipating us filling up this entire greenhouse when we get up and going. So now that we got that out of the way, a little bit of the outside tour, let's go and take a look at the inside and see where we are at, and I can go over some of the plans we have in store for this thing. Oh man, it's so much nicer out of the wind in here. All right, it looks a little bit different. Last time I brought you guys into this bus, you can see Josh has been working really hard. He has taken all of the seats out of this bus, and we have sold all of the seats, so that is giving us room to get in here and play around a little bit. We do plan on taking out these wheel wells and flattening the floor because there are no tires underneath of these. It's just empty space. So we'll get these taken out and make it flat floors in here. You can see our lights. These do work. Intercom works. Everything in here is really good condition and still working. So we do have a lot of cleaning up in here to do. Josh plans on doing a really cool floor in here. This bus, he purposefully set down a little bit at an angle so it kind of leans back a little bit, and that is for the purpose that if I do have, you know, watering plants in here and any water or debris gets on the floor, I can just hose off the floor, and we're gonna have it run out to a drain in the back where we can just kind of wash and wear and have minimal upkeep in this place. So the floor that Josh is planning to do, it's going to be so cool if this works out the way we're planning it. It's the type of floor that he's done before, where it's almost like an epoxy type floor with paint flecks in it, and we'll have to get into it a little bit more when we do that project. But it's going to be a really good waterproof, durable floor that we can have where everything can just kind of wash out the back. My plan is, you can see we have this kind of acoustic ceiling in here. We are going to take all the rivets out, and we will try our best to maintain the electrical on this side of the bus. But this is the south side. We've got west, north, and east at the front. We have plans to take out half of this roof, the south side, so that more sun can come in. As you sit in a bus, it feels like there's a lot of windows, but when you take the seats out and you're standing, these windows are actually set really low and they're tinted. So we don't think that there's going to be enough sunlight to really fill up this space and make the most out of it without doing some modifications. You can see here what we plan on doing is taking out, probably from on this side of these pop outs, we're going to take out all of the roof from there over, and we're going to put in a clear greenhouse roofing so that we can let some more sunshine in here. We'll probably have sun loving plants on this side, maybe more shade sensitive plants on the north side where they'll have protection, because we will have a lean-to, which will be more indirect sunlight on the north side, kind of like we're seeing here, where it's bright in here but shaded. And my plan is to probably have a shelf going the entire length of this bus so that we can have started plants growing. On the other side, however, I do want to leave some open floor space so that we can bring in some potted plants, such as citrus plants that maybe don't want to live through a frost or cannot live through a hard freeze outside. We can grow them year round by bringing them into the greenhouse during the winter months and taking them back outside in the summer. So I want to have some floor space for some taller plants like trees that we can keep groomed down into a size that will fit in this bus. Coming to about where the wheel well is, I do think I'm going to put some more shelving or a table in here. It's going to be a kind of shorter table, which will give us some room for starting plants that may be more shade sensitive. These are things like frost hardy plants, some herbs that really don't want to be in full sun all day long. We can still get them started in a heated greenhouse while being sensitive to their needs. And then I do plan on leaving some floor space up here at the front side of the bus where I intend to put a bookshelf, a nice rug. This chair is coming out. It's already loosened up and it's just kind of sitting in here. That chair is going to come out, and I envision having a rocking chair on a nice floor rug next to a bookshelf in here, because what is better than a cool, drizzly winter day than sitting in a greenhouse reading a book? I think that that will be so nice. So I do plan on having a very beautiful hanging out lounge area in the front corner over here of the bus. We'll figure out what we're going to do with all of the electronics, because we do want the electronic system to stay intact up here at the front of the bus. So I'll probably come up with a situation where we can access the electronics while making it more aesthetically pleasing to look at. Because you know how that goes. We'll make it look super cute, right? A lot of the functionality will be staying the same. We plan on keeping these pop-outs. You can push them up like this. Let that breeze in. So that'll be really nice on a day when you know it's not going to rain. You can open the roof, and all you have to do is pull it back down and close up that air gap. These latches will let you completely pop it out if you needed to climb out of the bus, but I don't really foresee me doing that a whole lot in a greenhouse setting. So we'll probably just leave those intact and use this as a vent to let the heat out on the warmer days. These windows do also open. We have 4 emergency windows here. We plan on putting automatic window openers here in these 4 windows so that as the temperature increases, this bus will help self-regulate its temperature a little bit more. So we're going to be taking off the safety mechanisms, letting these windows hinge out, and we'll attach those fixators to open and close the windows based on the temperature that the bus is automatically. We'll probably keep this door. This is great to open up to load and unload plants rather than going up and down those steep steps at the front of the bus. So we've got a lot of plans in store. Josh has a lot of work ahead of him. I know I'm going to help out too, but y'all know how that goes. Let's give him a hard time on this. In all seriousness, this is my big project, so I know I'm going to be doing a lot of work on this as well, but we all know who the real handyman in this family is, and it is Josh. He is the Josh of all trades, so I'll probably twist his arm into helping me here and there on this. He's already done so much work on the school bus to get it as far as it is. My goal is that we can get some plants started in this over the winter as well, so we'll see. Got a lot of work ahead of us. We'll go ahead and exit the bus.